learn about API, right?
Yeah.
So from last learning, do you understand? Do you remember anything? It is an interface to transfer data, right? This is very good. This is a very good one. Understanding is good. So you can also say it's a piece of code, right?
Piece of code.
It's a piece of code. In general, API is a function. You know function? In English, we say function.
Function.
Or a method. Okay, method. In general, it's a method. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Method means Chinese means fun or right? Or function. Okay. All right. It means it does something. It's a piece of code, and most of the time it's like this. Okay, inside this. And then you'll have the function. You may write here function, and function name. Okay, most of the time it looks like this. Function. You have in most of the time we have to write this keyword function, and then we have to write the function name. You can name it anything. For example, this API is for saving money. Okay, maybe you'll call it save, right? And then here you will have lines of code. Okay, and in general, this kind of API, if you save, it always talks to the database. So here it'll save information to database. A lot of time looks like this. I mean, not looks like this. We draw it like this. Okay. So it'll save some information regarding the money, and then it'll over here save the database, and then in general it will return to the user. Okay. Return to user like a response, okay? Return. So it'll have a return keyword, okay? Okay, and in general, it might say JSON, return JSON, okay? So it may look like this, return JSON, okay? All right, most of the time, and then it will have bracket inside, and then inside this, something, okay? That's something is the data, and that data is called response body. Okay, and the response body will have, if you open it, once again it will look like this. It will have like this, say data. Okay, and then data. Okay, so here it could be again like this, and then here you will have another one. And same, for example, Raleigh, that's the username. Okay? So data, this is called key. And whatever is in there is called value. In this case, the key is name, the value is Raleigh. Okay? So in general, JSON is returned like this. Okay? It could be very simple data. Sometimes when JSON is returned, it may just look like this, very simple. Sometimes it's very simple, okay? JSON, and then here you'll have like this, for example, code 200. This is also JSON response. Okay, it's very simple. This is 200, that means everything is okay.
Okay.
It just you want to let the user know everything is okay, fine. You don't want the user to know other things. Okay? So anyway, so this is an API. API in general has a function, a name. It may not have. It depends on what programming language you use. Okay? Some of them they don't have this. Some of them they have it. But all of them they must have a name. Name of the API. Okay? Name of the API, a lot of time we also call it endpoint. Endpoint. The last point.
Last point.
It means this is what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Okay? Alright. I'll talk about more about this later. So it will have a name, so there must be a name. The function itself, we can skip that. But here, there must be a name. Okay? Alright. And then it'll do some stuff over here. Maybe save some data, or maybe even get some data. Okay? It depends what you want to do. Okay, And then in general, it will return. It will always have return, okay? API should always have return. Return is a keyword, okay? And it will return JSON. Some JSON, if it's a complex JSON, it may look like this. And some easy JSON may look like this, okay? That's it, okay? So a lot of time, the programmers may ask you, what's the return data? They're talking about this, okay? Or they can also say, what's the return type? In this case, you can say 200, or they might also ask you, what's the return status code? 200, okay? Of course, when they say return type, it could be XYZ. We don't know. You have to see it, okay? XYZ or a number, okay? It's called formulation, okay? All right. But that's another thing we'll talk about another day. All right. So that's how it works, okay? All right. So we learned what is an API look like, okay?
Yeah.
Do you want more detail about API?
That's enough, I think.
That's enough for you, okay? All right. Okay. So in general, when you talk with the programmers, they may also mention the word endpoint. Endpoint, okay? All right. Now, what is this endpoint? So let's take a look. For example, if you see this one, like say your company's name is this one, okay? www. Okay, like for example, my company's name is DeBestTech, okay? .com. So this is the URL, right? Okay. So in general, when we use an API, it has to have an URL like this, okay? And then most of the time it might have API, this one, okay, /API. And then we also have a version number, you know, V for version, version 1, okay? And then after that we'll have the endpoint name, save, okay? So that's how it works. So in general, you use or visit an API in this format. So this here, you will have your domain name.
Domain name?
It's called domain, or the main, you know, www.google. It's a domain. We call it domain, okay?
域名?
Yes, right, you got it. So we call it domain, okay? And then here, we should write API over here, okay? It's the convention. Convention is general rule. Even if you don't write, it should work. It's of course, it's a design thing, you know? People always write like this, /API, /v1, and / your endpoint name, okay? It could be anything.
Okay.
You got it?
Okay.
All right. So in general, when you talk about endpoint, of course it will have domain and eventually the name itself. All right. Now, why we have this version over here? The reason is because you may update your API in future. You know, for doing more complex stuffs.
Yes.
So that's why you should have this V1, V2, V3. If you have a lot of updates, you understand?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so any questions about this endpoint?
The endpoint.
Yeah.
Endpoint means it's function name.
You could understand it like this. Why we need an endpoint? Okay. For example, you see, this is our domain, and here API. That means we'll have a lot of APIs actually.
Yes.
So one of the API is a save. Another API could be retrieve. Another API could be update. You know, like it can continue like this, V1, and then update. You know, update. Okay. You can have like others one, like say edit, 修改. Okay. Understand? Yes, right. So what's gonna happen? So you have so many points here. Okay. You can also say these are the points. Okay. When you say endpoint, it means here, okay, I'm looking for one of them. Okay. They just call it endpoint. It doesn't really mean anything special, actually, my understanding. Okay. It's just a name people used to understand, okay?
Yes.
Like for example, you see, this is just a sign for dollar. They just gave it, okay? It doesn't have to be like this. But since we have this one, now people always call it dollar, right? So people call it endpoint, that's it. So you can also say, okay, what's the endpoint? That means tell me the name of the function, okay?
Okay.
All right, like this. Okay, so these are the endpoints, okay? But now, when you type in endpoints or write endpoints or visit endpoints, you do like this, right? You do blah, 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 and edit. Blah, 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 v1, edit, v1, update, right? So in general, the endpoints are first stored or mentioned in a special file, okay? This file is called root or route, okay? You understand?
Root
Or route.
or route.
Yeah, you can call it root, you can call it route. So if you use PHP, it would be most probably route.php. Or some of them also call it API.php. It's the same thing. Just the different names, you know? Like, you know, there is PHP, there is Ruby, there is Java. They have different naming system.
Okay.
But eventually they're the same thing.
Okay.
Okay? Alright. So if you use Python, they might have API.py, you know?
Python.
Yeah, Python is the language.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So anyway, so this refers to a file name. Do you know what is file?
File name.
For example, most of us use Microsoft .docx file, right?
Ah.
So this is also a file. The file, so in this case, the file itself, the format is docx, right?
Yes, the format.
Yes, so in our case, because we are doing programming, so we also have a special name for the file. It's called suffix, okay?
Okay.
All right, so we have the suffix over here, okay? All right, so our files should have this format. This refers to the format or the language actually the language itself, that what kind of language I'm using, okay? So when you see .py, it's a Python language.
Python.
When you see .php, it's a PHP language, okay?
Yes.
All right. So now we'll have these things, right? And then say we are thinking or talking about PHP APIs. So the file would be like this. Okay. So in general, if you open the file, it will have a big word called route. You know?
Route.
Yes, like this. Okay. Or just like this actually. So this is more like a class. Okay, and inside this, there are a lot of other structures, so I'm not going to talk about that. The thing I'm going to talk about is this one. So here, you'll have, for example, again, inside this, you'll have route, this kind of 2 columns, okay? All right? And then you will have get. Okay? And then here you will have your endpoint name, and again another name, which I'm coming later. And then here you will have route host. Okay? Alright, so I'm coming over here. So these are the endpoint type. Get, host. We also have, say, update. We also have delete, edit. You get the point, okay?
Delete.
Yeah, we want to delete something, okay? So now inside this, you will have, say for example, so here I wrote save, right? So here in general, you will have like double quotation, save, okay? And then we'll have comma, and then maybe save again, okay? All right. So what happens over here, this one, this name, and this name must be the same. okay? But this could be a different one. This and this endpoint, they have to be the same. For example, when we write this on a browser takes this name and go to the server, it goes to the api.php file, and then inside this it looks for save. So the name has to match, exactly match, okay? That means they found the endpoint, okay? If they don't find the endpoint, a lot of time you'll see 404.
Okay.
It's like page not found, okay? So when you look for something, they actually look for an endpoint and they can't find it. There's an error or mistake. So most of the time you see 404. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, right. All right. But then what is this? Now this save, this name could be same as this. Okay? For example, here you want to change the name. You could say save credit. Okay? So you have to name it here save credit. Okay?
Okay.
You get the idea, right? So here we're gonna call it save credit. So here, this and this section, the name must be same. On the other hand, this name over here has to be same as this.
API name.
Well, yeah, this refers to the API name, okay? All right. And then this one refers to the function that API uses. Oh, you're smart, you got it. Okay, that's how it works, okay? And the same goes for all rest of the types. You got it, right? And then, now here, get, when you see get, it must be get, post, delete, update library. It doesn't matter you use PHP or Java or Python, okay? Right? They don't use different name as a convention. Get means I want to get data. I just want to get data from you. This is the endpoint, whatever the endpoint it is. I just want to get data this time. Okay, I don't want to care about other things. Okay. When you have post, then it means I just want to save data.
Okay.
Okay? All right. When update, that means I want to update a row in the database. Remember, earlier we have seen rows like this.
Yes.
Okay? In the database, it may look like this, right? So I want to update one of the rows. Okay, then you use update, all right? Just a moment. Okay, right. So you just update one of them, then you use updating. It's like, we call it update method sometimes, actually. Okay, post method, get method. The delete, for deleting, you just delete one of them, okay? But when you get data from one of them. But when you post, most of the time you create a new one, okay? Updating, deleting, and getting on existing rows in the database. But posting is always about actually creating a new one. Okay.
Post is also create
a new row in the
a
database.
new row.
Yeah, that's the general convention. But it could be different. Okay. But this is the idea. When you say I'm posting something, you're creating something new. Okay? Post information.
Does it get for create a new one?
Get doesn't create a new one. Get just getting data from server.
Post
Is putting data in the
putting
server.
is save.
Save, yes. No, post can save. Yeah, post saves data. That's true.
Okay.
Post saves data. Okay. All right. Get doesn't necessarily save data. Yeah, get doesn't save data. Okay.
Get just get.
Yes. Okay, just get data from the server. Okay. All right. But of course, so here if I wrote it here save, it doesn't make much sense. So it should be actually post, because post saves data. So let me change the name over here. So here I'm gonna say post, and then I'm gonna say get. All right. Now you may have, for example, so most of the time, which endpoint is being called is defined by this one. Okay. Most of the time. But then, if you have two endpoints, if they have similar name, okay. Say, for example, all. Get one. I'm just naming it get one, okay? Okay, all right. So here, you might also have get one here. Maybe the name is same. Okay, so in this case, what's happening? It will definitely see the method type. Okay, because when we actually use this API, we call this API, we mention what the type it is, what kind of type it is. Whether it's a post, whether it's a get, we mention it, okay? All right, and based on that, we understand which one to use. Because maybe here just the name is get one. But then, internally, we must use one of this, and then we know which one to call. Whether we should call this one or this one, because they have the same name. Okay?
Okay, where I can see the update or delete.
What do you mean where you can say?
Can see.
See.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mine. Okay. Where you can I don't understand your question. I don't think you can see. It's like if you really want to see is update or get, you have to open up this API.php file. You have to open that up. Okay? If you don't open that up, you cannot see.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I can see the when I see a URL.
Yeah. No, you cannot see that. You don't know what is update.
Okay.
Or you don't know that. Because APIs are always like this. Unless the name is update profile. Okay? Yeah, then you know. But in general, it's hidden. Hidden in a sense, programmers don't mention it in the API itself. Okay? So how to know? Well, how to know it's update or get? Only because you see when you type in this one and hit enter in the browser or on the keyboard actually, then it first goes to the server, looks for this file, and then it looks for the match. Okay, that's how it works.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, remember earlier we learned about header, right?
Header.
Yeah. We learned about header. We learned about body. You remember that, right? Okay. So, what happens when we reach to that part? Actually, like for example, we have a mobile phone, okay? From mobile phone, we click a button. Maybe it'll call an API, right?
Yes.
So in the mobile phone itself, when we click the button, the first thing happens is like this. Let me go ahead and erase this. We don't need this right now. So when in general, when I click on a button, maybe, so it will have something called HTTP, okay, and then it will have post, okay, and inside this you'll pass your information and the endpoint name. Okay, so most probably some of your information is here and the endpoint name may be safe. Okay, so here you see I already mentioned http.post, so it will look for this one. This is in the mobile code. This is in the server code. Codes are in two different places. Some code for front end and some code for back end. Back end is the server. Front end is the like mobile or your computer browser or other applications. So when we click a button and then it may have this kind of thing in the bottom. That means when you click a button, we have some code that executes, right? So then at the beginning, from the very beginning, we know it's a post or it's get. You may also have something like this, http.get, get one. It means get one data for somebody, okay? And then some other information, okay? You get the idea? So that's how it works. You may also have http.update, okay? So here's some information, and then here your maybe endpoint name, all right? So it should be some information and endpoint name. You get one. Okay. So here I'm already mentioning what kind of API request I want. API request. What kind of request? So sometimes we use what kind of request was it? Was it post, get, or delete? It was post type.
If I want to delete something, I click the button. The button is the API type of delete.
Yes. In general, the button behind it will have http.delete, and then it will find this one from the server code.
Okay.
So this is the mobile code. This is the server code. Okay. Any other questions? So, endpoint, in general, they have 4 methods, or could be 5. Endpoints method type. Post method, get method, update method, delete method. Okay? I think there's another one, it's called put and update. There's another one, it's called put. But I think they're similar actually. Okay, but there might be a little difference, but we don't care about them for now. Okay? All right. So, but in the browser, browsers sometimes do tell you that it's get or post, maybe. Okay, but we'll talk about that later. All right. And then, so this is all about API and their types. Any other questions?
No.
No, it's a lot of information.
I can understand mostly what you talk.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you haven't talk.
Oh, you don't know what I haven't talked?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't talked many things. But I don't think you need to know them.
But I can 大致的已经了解这些。
You kind of know them, right?
Kind of.
Yeah, all right. Okay. Now, anyway, in general, a lot of APIs, they need authentication. Authentication. Yeah, authentication means 验证. Yesterday we learned, maybe you forget about it.
Because I remember that
authentications. Many APIs they goes through authentication. Okay, if you don't do authentication, a lot of things go wrong.
Okay.
For example, if you go to many websites, in general, the home page, you don't need authentication.
Yes, you said that.
Yeah, I said that. What does that mean? Do you remember?
It's just a home. Everyone can visit it.
Yeah, it's open for everyone, right?
Yes.
So this we can say it's a public API.
Yeah.
Or it's a public. That means everybody can go and see. So this kind of API most of the time are get. Most of the time, is get. So homepage is get type.
Oh yeah.
But not every get is open. Okay?
Okay.
Not every get type is open, but you can close it, you can open it. It's up to the programmer or the design. Okay? But like for example, a lot of times you want to post some data or update user information. We need authentication engine.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
So authentication happens through token. We learned about it before.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to erase this. We don't need this now. So authentication happens through token. So what happens when we log in? So server in general returns us. So when we talk to the server, so this is our server. When we log in, so servers returns us a token. Okay.
Yes.
So this token. So here you see you are on a mobile phone, right? Mobile phone. So this token is saved in the mobile phone. So mobile phone in the mobile phone or your application on computer. It could be browser. It could be other desktop application. So the idea is they are saved in your application. That means in your mobile or in your computer. The token. And do you know why? Because when you log in from your mobile phone, it's an unique thing.
Yes.
So we save it in your mobile phone. So next time you do something from this application to the server, we send this
We send this
token to the server to verify that, hey, this is the token you gave me last time and I have it.
Okay.
That means I'm valid.
It's me.
Yeah, it's me. That means what I'm trying to do is a valid thing. It's not illegal, okay?
Yes.
So that's why you want to save it in your application.
Yes.
So whenever you log out from an application, in general, we delete the token.
Okay, this time.
Yeah, once you delete it, okay, it's gone. So you can only have a new token next time you log in.
Yes.
Okay? Yeah. So anyway, now
this is the process of authentication.
yes, this is the process of authentication. Right. This is a very general authentication. There are many ways to do authentication. All right. All right. Now the power of this token, is that, for example, now you have the token saved in your mobile phone. Okay. But now this time you want to click on a button and delete something. Okay. So when you click on a button and delete something, so in general our code in the mobile phone will take the token. Okay.
Yes.
Take the token, send it to the server, okay? Server will verify the token, okay? So it will verify. So this is our server. It will see it's the right token or not. How does it know? Because it gave the token last time to you. Server also saved a copy. Server has it. Okay, as long as you have it, server also has it. Okay. So you'll try to find from there. It is okay, I found it. Now you can go ahead and delete something you wanted to delete. That's the general approach. So that's why we need the token.
The server will return, okay? Then you can delete the.
No, you don't have to return okay. No. When you click on the delete button, it happens automatically. It will verify and check and then delete.
Okay.
If it can't verify, it means it cannot find the token. You send the token to the server.
Yeah.
Server will say, oh, I'm sorry, you are unauthorized. Unauthorized.
Unauthorized.
Yeah, this is called unauthorized. Okay? Permission.
Yes.
So a lot of time you use 403. 403. That means unauthorized.
Authority.
Authority. Unauthorized.
Unauthorized.
Yeah.
Unauthorized. we usually use 4 or 3 to describe some 操作
Operations.
operations.
Yeah.
Yes, unauthorized.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have the token and you try to do it, 不要叫了，啊，不叫了。Okay, all right. Now tokens, they have different types and various different types. Okay, it's a big topic, but in general, you'd say that we also call the token access token. Okay, all right. Okay, now the API format itself. Now we talked a little bit about API, and earlier we learned that API is JSON format. Okay, this is a new one. In the old time, they had XML format. XML is not very good to use. So the new one that is called XML. Okay.
Sorry,
JSON. This is the old one.
JSON.
Okay. XML a lot of time looks like this. Okay.
Oh, I don't say yet.
You save it. You saw it.
I saw it.
Alright. Okay. So it's not good. You know, it's very stupid. Microsoft invented it. Alright. Okay. Now there's this other thing. So we already saw the format of API, right? So I'm not going to do that. But the modern API, anyway, just to be clear. So modern API looks like this. ID 1. Name. Say Ahmed. So these are all in double quote. Okay? Like this. Key value, key value, key value. Okay, key value, key value, and key value. So in this format. Okay? So this is the API in general. This is how it looks like. But once again, it could be very complex. There could be more information, information inside of the information. Now, why do we need API? Because efficiency. Because you can always add a new API.
Efficiency.
效率.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
And scalable. Scalable means you can make it bigger.
Oh yes.
You can add more API slowly. Okay.
Yes.
So that's the beauty of API. So you can, when you need, you can add more and more and more. Okay.
In our business, we cooperate with the Indonesian bank.
Yeah.
Their technology not good enough.
The technology is not good enough.
Good.
Well, I would say the engineers are not skillful.
Their system is not enough.
Okay, their system is not good enough.
Mature.
Yeah. Not very mature.
Yeah.